people will always remember you. You might as well leave a good impression. And I think that building relationships is what being a hairdresser is. I mean, you have to connect with them, not only do great hair, make them look pretty, but it is 80% of doing hair is building relationships. I know I wouldn't be who I am today without my friendships, my relationships, my connections. And I think our industry needs to have more of that. More of that. We're not competing with each other. We don't steal each other's stylists. Being strong in relationship building is what I try to share with my team too. Leave them with something that they just can't wait for the next appointment.
I don't want to oversell this podcast, let alone the incredible woman that I have the honor of interviewing, but there is not enough that I can say to welcome the listeners to Brazen and Bold and the absolutely incomparable Gayle Fulbright. You must know that there's a bit more of a backstory behind Gayle's pretty face and thriving businesses. She runs Headlines The Salon, and she has a massive background in traveling the country as a national educator for different brands, a really robust career in this industry, spanning even more than 40 years in this industry, which is hard to believe if you're watching this because she barely even looks like she's hit level 4 yet in life. But I'm so excited to introduce our listeners to somebody that I am honored to now be able to call one of my favorite humans and close personal friend. Welcome to Brazen and Bold to Miss Gayle.
Thank you. This has been something we've been talking about for a while, and we're finally connecting. We're doing it.
Well, speaking of connecting, there is a superpower that you have more than any human I've ever met. And I mean this sincerely. You have a superpower of connection with people, connecting the dots. I mean, you know how to connect people to each other and then connect with individuals like no one I've ever met. And I want to tell a little behind the scenes because I think it will give context to what we've talked about having you share today. But it's a little over a year ago now, I was looking, well, first of all, I work for Goldwell as a national educator, and I do that part-time. I get to go in salons that carry Goldwell and do advanced classes and programs. And somebody said, well, I've got someone that wants you to teach, and they're in Encinitas, and that sounds nice. I said, ooh, Encinitas. I've kind of had that on my radar. Like, I want to move there someday. I love the North County of San Diego. And then probably months later, after that came across my field of vision, I said, I should probably find a salon that maybe I can do a pop-up ad, or I should find somebody who owns a salon there and just see if I can moonlight there. Now, I use the word moonlight on purpose. We'll have Gayle tell us about Moonlight Beach sooner than later. But I thought that was kind of like in what I wanted. And every single person I asked this question to, from the Goldwell world, from Orbe, from any sales rep I knew who knew anybody that knew anything, they said, you got to call Gayle Fulbright at Headlines The Salon. I mean, after 3 people in a row told me this, I thought, I need to call Gayle Fulbright. So I think we texted, you were out of town, you're a busy woman. We coordinated back and forth. And then I got a text back and you're like, hey, you're the artist I was going to have out anyway. And I'm like, no way. We got on the phone to talk about maybe the class or maybe who knows what. I just knew you were someone I needed to talk to because everybody and their dog said so. And I'm not exaggerating. There's love at first sight, and then there's friendship at first conversation. And I really mean this sincerely. I got off the phone and I was like, did I just meet my best friend? It was really wild. Like, we connected instantly. And I mean, I'm a fangirl, and I've been a fangirl ever since, but I didn't know it was mutual. I just thought, she's so cool. Gayle's the coolest. I want to be like her when I grow up. And everybody I've talked to has nothing but good things to say about you. So I had the privilege of getting to know Gayle this way. And one thing led to another. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, everybody that I talk to, I wish I could have Google reviews for what I say about Gayle. All of my friends know about Gayle. They know her energy is unmatched. They know you have such a generous heart, and you are not only brilliant at what you do, which is leading your salon team and the art you do, but also connecting. And everybody. There's a lot of people who are notorious, but everybody loves you. And I really, I didn't know at the time. I knew I was going through a particularly hard season in my life, and it was like this ray of sunshine, this positive, hopeful, beautiful spot that I feel like God gave me as a gift was to get to know you. And you invited me to come not only work at your salon, but stay at your house. And I thought, well, maybe I'll stay once or, one or two nights to come like try and work. And she's joining us from her beautiful home office. And I remember that was like, it was so fun. And I thought, well, I don't want to take advantage of this, or I don't want to overstay or overstep. And next thing I knew, like, it's my happy time that I have my 2, 3, sometimes lucky if I can get 4 days in North County with Gail. I love working with your team. I go as a pop-up guest artist just for fun, just for a few days. But the truth is, I would go do a nose wax just to go work at your salon to hang out with you for a day. So anyway, I mean this sincerely. Like, Gail has become such a close personal friend, a mentor, a role model. And I think that it'll be easy to see why as you hear about what she has to share today.
Uh, you're way too kind. And now it's going to be hard to even do this because now I have this bar set that I have to do this. But, you know,
You don't even have to try.
it, it is actually, we live life and we develop a reputation one way or another. And, I raised my children saying that people will always remember you. You might as well leave impression, a good impression. And I think that building relationships is what being a hairdresser is. I mean, you have to connect with them, not only do great hair, make them look pretty, but it is 80% of doing hair is building relationships. And then being a salon owner, I know I wouldn't be who I am today without my friendships, my relationships, my connections. It's gone every which way. Like you said, our relationship grew out of being friendly and having a common denominator in this industry. But like I have my salon sisters who we kind of are getting a little notorious here, 20 years worth of friendship, but we save each other's butts a lot. We cry with each other. We compare notes where there is nothing that we don't share when it comes to numbers, successes, and all those things. And I think our industry needs to have more of that. More of
Yeah.
that. We're not competing with each other. We don't steal each other's stylists. All that old stuff. I've been around long enough that it did used to exist. You didn't want to hold a class because somebody might steal your stylist or something or whatever. Just weird times back a few years ago. But being strong in relationship building is what I try to share with my team too. That
Yeah.
this isn't a wham bam, come on, let's get your hair done and leave them with something that they just can't wait for the next appointment. So, relationship building, I think if I had a strength or a superpower, that would be it for sure. So, thank you.
I mean it. And I don't personally think that we could actually limit it to one superpower or strength for you. And you don't have to even try to do anything to live up to this because it is just who you are. And I think it's just such a treat that I've had the chance to get to know you and that I get a chance to introduce you to anybody that's listening. So I'm just really grateful that we could make the time to do this and to be together today. I think it would be, I mean, you're talking about connecting and making people look forward to an experience. And I've even noticed, which I think is really noteworthy, just anytime I've been in your salon, it might be one day every 6 weeks, but that you make an effort when you're in between meetings or when you have something to go around and to connect with people, to thank them for being there, to act like not in a fake way. It has to be sincere, and Gail is sincere, but to act like you're just reconnecting with your old friends and seeing your best friend there. People light up as you come around. It's like a fairy godmother touching them with your magic wand, and they just boom, sparkles are everywhere. And I've just seen that happen and noticed like what a difference that makes. It's such a simple act, but you going and connecting with each of your guests, just it's like you do a quick sweep of the floor, say hello, tell them they look beautiful. Those you do. It's such a good
Yeah,
job and so organic for you.
it is organic. Think of your favorite restaurant. The reason that what you want to go back to that restaurant is maybe the owner or the maitre d or even one of the waiters remembers your name or remembers what your order was. You just automatically are drawn back to that. And I gave up being a hairdresser behind the chair about 10 years ago, and my job is to be that maitre d in the salon to acknowledge everybody. human beings sometimes don't get acknowledged enough. We don't know what's going on with them at home. We don't know if this is their special time of the day, week, month. I can
Yeah.
just sitting here talking, think of a couple clients that are like almost reaching out to touch, like, oh, and they don't let go of you, like, oh, it's so good to see you. What a great gift we have as being, hairdressers, salon owners, that we can make that connection. And I hope that my young stylists get that too, because we all have talked about this before. They're a little bit more disconnected. This is their way of connecting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when they see that, oh, it's kind of okay to be awkward and walk over to talk to people and to make small talk conversations, I think it's just what we should do as leaders is to show them that that's why guests are coming back.
Yeah. And I really like how you say these people, some of the people that you mentioned that just they just love that little extra touch or attention, and we don't always know that we might be the only person who literally physically touches that person that week or that
So
month.
true.
We don't know,
Yeah.
and then to just touch them emotionally and to acknowledge them is huge, and I've seen you do this over and over with your team, acknowledging them, special touches, the way that you, even when I see you work a crowd, there's people who work a room and they work a crowd because they want the feedback and they want to fill their cup. You work a crowd like it's almost like you just want to go make every single person you interact with just feel special and seen. And oh, I've got to introduce you to my friend here because of this is what she does so great. And I mean, it's so organic. And so it just seems like it's like breathing to you. And people bask in that. And I just think it's so, so powerful. I I want to get to the connection, how you recruit and lead teams and all the things you do because there's so much you have to share. But I want to get a little background into what brought you out of Michigan. I've seen you do this right here.
Yep. Yep.
What
If
brought
any
you out
of
of
you are
Michigan?
from Michigan, this is what we do. Where do you live? I live here outside of Detroit. Um, what brought me out of Michigan was I had come out here briefly on vacation and decided that I was going to live happily ever after at Moonlight Beach, and made that just. I went back. I was young and dumb, no ties, and left it in my early 20s. Moved out here, became broke. I mean, literally, I ran out of money. Worked for a woman that for a couple years thought it would be fun to run a salon, didn't have any biz interest. I mean, and she wasn't a hairdresser. And I ended up fortunately buying it from her very inexpensively, like $11,000. I bought this business that just is 3.5 million now. Not a brag, just a fact.
We
And
talk numbers. That's right.
we talk numbers, and dove in, young and blind and naive. And if I look back, why I got lucky was I really started surrounding myself again with that connection of the right people and the right brands that, you go from 0 to 500, you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And we're still in the same shopping center. It's so crazy. It'll be 39 years in July. And we were there. I was there 4 years before that, working for this woman, and it's kind of rare because I'm in California, as you may have mentioned, and we're a commission employee based salon, which we're kind of a unicorn out here in
Yeah.
California, Arizona also,
Yep.
and but to just stay on the path of being an employee based um, business. I don't want to even just call it a salon. Uh, to, is was has It's been ups and downs. There's been a lot of mistakes, a lot of tears, a lot of almost going out of business, a lot of walkouts, all the stuff that we all get to experience in this industry. But again, staying true to your belief system is what I would recommend. That's what's got me here today.
Well, beyond absolute grit and work ethic, because ups and downs and walkouts are enough to make some people fold. In those early years, like you said, you were not young and dumb. You were just young, brave, maybe, and you went for it. And then, when you first bought the salon, I'm sure you had a ton to learn. That was a long time ago, and the industry has changed so much. Not to say that what you learned then is irrelevant, but what things did you put into place then, or what things did you begin to learn quickly to keep your business thriving, even with the adaptation of an entire team walking out or things changing? Like, what were your big takeaways and learnings in those kind of critical moments that kept you going?
The big thing was, and I did a interview, gosh, 100 years ago with Michael Cole he was just starting a summit, and he said, "So what is Headlines?" I said, "We're kind of family," and it just kind of came out naturally. Again, it's building that relationship, and I think staying true to the fact that we are in this together and we're going to keep building it. So when things happen, like we had 8 people leave, I had 12 chairs. And the people that stayed were the ones that were the believers. And we just kind of built from that. And then you have to kind of shift. And I think over the 4 decades, there's been a whole lot of shifting going on and just
Yeah.
adjusting to the times. The way I coach my young stylists now is completely different than what I did in the very beginning. But again, I think it's attracting and hiring the people that have the same belief system. I always kid, and Brittany, my director, you know, what do we hire? What do we look at when we're hiring? Good attitude, good attitude, good attitude, because it's then our job to teach them technically, but if they can fit into the culture and the same value system, then you got it. And that's the I secret sauce, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge too, because if you think about it, sometimes you're gonna get somebody that isn't a good fit for the culture. Or we've had people leave our team that we love, but it was time for them to move on. They went back home, they got engaged and moved where their fiance lived, or who knows what. It's not always like a
Yeah.
walkout because of something big or bad. I think we had 4 stylists move on, to 3 moving to different states last year.
Yeah.
We have a 12 station salon, and then one that switched industries. And you know, not having a big bad walkout, those things really can overwhelm and tank a salon. But just knowing that like people will move on and they'll grow and you want to support that, it doesn't devastate your culture when you've got anchor people in place, and that they have that attitude. I think that that's really incredible. And I've loved seeing what you do as far as recruiting goes and what you do with building new talent and how you've done that. How has your perspective on growing talent shifted, and what is your kind of approach now? Because you've always got a bench, you got a farm team at all times you can pull up to the big leagues. How have you gone about doing that, and what's your secret sauce?
You know, knowing that no one's gonna be forever. And if they last longer than 5, 6 years, that's just great. Just going back a little bit, thinking, I think in my neighborhood, there are 4 salons that are former employees of mine that have opened. And so instead of being jealous, it's kind of like, wow, I'm proud of that. I'm proud to see that they've learned, taken away, and are thriving and stuff. But I think it's adjusted to the point where young talent nowadays is different. And to attract them, they want to see that you're at a salon that's an it salon. They see it on social media, and things like that. So before it would be, let's attract somebody because we do great education, which we do. I stand to challenge anyone in the area that has a great education program. I give it to Jenna, and bringing in directors or great talent like you and Sana Brado. We just had Kian from Orbe. But I think young talent right now is looking for support and guidance. Even though they want to be independent and free, the other side of them really truly wants to have coaching and mentors. So when I go to the schools, and I do, and build a relationship with them, I don't go in showing them the new hottest blowout technique. I go in and just talk to them about real world. What does your social media look like? Who's your ideal client? What are you looking for? Not that you have to come to headlines, but getting them to think a little bit past that they're going to build their business from this.
Yeah.
Because I think some of them are still stunned or thinking they're doing that.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think it's really cool. You've got an intern program you work with one of the local beauty schools. So you have interns that show up, which is amazing. They have a chance to come work in a real salon. They get to spend, is it 6, 8 weeks with you, one day a week?
8 weeks. Yeah. Once a week, 8 weeks.
And a way for them to learn what it's like at a salon environment, to decide if they're looking for a bigger salon or something more boutique or fast paced or who knows what. But
Right.
this all gives you a chance to see how do they fit into your team and your environment? How are they showing up? How's their attitude? And I think it's really fun because I've had the gift of being able to meet some of these interns and see that program. I think it's really cool. Not
So
everybody,
cute.
they're the cutest, and not everybody
Yes.
has this opportunity with the beauty school nearby. But
Yeah.
what are some ideas that you would have to build that farm team if someone doesn't have a beauty school intern program? Or how would you suggest people reach out when they're looking to build their people?
You know, going to the school and inviting them in for a visit day and like come in, and I call it their kind of working interview. Come spend a day with the team, feel the culture, try the shoes on before you buy them. And um, I even tell them, the externs, because they all feel comfortable. They want to work at Headlines because they've been there 8 weeks. God bless them. And the other great part, that's caveat about that, is my team also does a little sniffing out, a little interviewing process, because they'll come back and go, "Are you hiring him?" And I'll go like, "Why?" "Well, he's on his phone all the time. He's always saying he's taking his break." And so they do that interview. So I recommend these young people to go to other salons and feel the vibe, because again, it's not just are they going to teach you, which is very important, but do you fit in? Does Is this the kind of clientele you want to do? If they're doing a lot of men's hair cutting and that's something you don't want to specialize in, just that alone could make it not the right fit. So I really encourage going to the schools, and I know you and I have talked about that before, not just with the intention to recruit, but to just teach them a little bit that what to look for.
Yeah. And I think that that's also going on the theme of connection, which is just what it is. When you go into the schools, of course you're going in because, man, wouldn't we love it if the top 5 people came in and showed up at your salon to do a working day or a working,
Hmm.
shadow day. But at the same time, your real intention is to give back, to give them something of value, to not just go give a rah rah recruitment speech, but to say, when you leave this, beauty school, I hope that you leave this class with me knowing something more, feeling more empowered to get what you want. And I think that that generosity just translates into natural connection and people feeling
Yeah.
like, I want to work with someone like that. And I think that that's really cool. Even the way you talk about the people for surrounding salons that started, from stylists who started with you, that can be really hard. It can make beef. And there's a respectful and ethical way to leave a salon that grew you, and there's ways to burn bridges. But even the fact that you're like, you know what? Like, I'm proud of them that that's if that's what they wanted and that's what they did, there's no reason to even, like you said, worry about someone stealing your people. It's like, if you want to leave the salon, that's probably better for all of us, and
Well,
be
it
generous
truly
and just
is.
supportive. Yeah.
All of us have had that employee that already quit, but they haven't left the building, and I find
Yeah.
myself sometimes I'm a kind of a chicken. I should have let him go a couple weeks ago, or maybe in a month prior. When you know, you know. We all have that gut feeling. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping other salon owners are going like this right now, going, "Yeah, I should have let that one go even before they quit." There's something good about
Yeah.
that because people change. They grow, one way or another. So yeah, you got to kind of. I call it the roller coaster. I was sharing this with Bobby. You know, the the roller coaster is like this. Whenever I'm up at the top, I'm starting to prepare for what is next. And like right now, I'm recruiting as many young talent beauty school students as possible. I'm actually filling the bench, taking a little bit of a financial hit because you never know because right now we're here and
Yep.
it's going to do that. So being prepared, having a plan, trying to get the emotion out of people. When people leave, we all cry a little, we cry
Yeah.
inside and go, "Oh, it's personal. They don't like me." But no, just gotta next and not be
Yep.
cold hearted, but just don't dwell on the emotion part of it.
Hey, business owners. Yes, you. I know you're juggling it all: marketing, admin tasks, websites, podcasts, social media. The list never ends. That's where Spark comes in. We're a virtual assistant company built just for small business owners, because once you're able to delegate, we know you'll be able to dominate. Our clients are seeing up to 30% increase in social media engagement and sales,
all by letting us handle the behind the scenes work. Not to mention an incredible boost in flexibility, profit, and time. So scan the QR code right now to schedule a free chat with my team. Let's make you efficient AF and help you focus on what you do best, growing and leading your business.
I feel like this is so transferable to every engagement, interaction in life. And as human beings who are wired to love and connect, as many stylists are, it's really important to remember that whether or not it's a team member or another, relationship where it's like, that's okay. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to just move through it and to realize, like, when one door closes, like, you didn't know that the ray of sunshine, your future, favorite person alive, was gonna open up.
Making room for it.
and,
I know.
and that's what I got with Gail. So if you can be half as lucky as me, you're welcome for this podcast, everybody. But yeah, to keep your mind open to that.
If I can add this, I think what happened accidentally, and it may have started with you, that we do guest artists now, and out of town experts. You're in Arizona. We have Katie from Easy Hair from Minnesota. I have Leanne, one of my former employees that moved just about a half hour away, having her come in. I had Ronnie, who lives in many different states, come and be that guest artist. I have Christina. She's working in a salon in San Francisco and wants to be in San Diego. So I think quite by accident, we have these guest artists, which allows me to hire people at your caliber and up, because training the babies it's a journey. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen
Yep.
overnight, even though they'd like to be on the floor in about 3.5 weeks. But opening the doors, and instead of my other team being threatened or nervous or they're going to take our clients, they're welcoming seeing the talent, because you do the most incredible consultation that I've ever heard. And whenever you have a guest in your chair, I'm like, go listen to Heather.
Oh, you're
She
so
does a
cute.
45-minute consultation, or Katie putting in extensions. So I think quite by accident, being open minded and having out of towners come in has been a big boost for us.
And that started because you are an amazing super connector. And then you're like, hey, this could be fun. Why don't you just try it once? And I thought, well, I'll try it once. I mean, I get to hang out in San Diego with Gail. Okay. And then I thought, well, I'll just probably do that once. And that was nice. And I'll come back and teach sometimes. And then pretty soon I was like, so what about next month? And before you know it, I'm like, her dog, she's the cutest dog named Teddy, and my Ted are better. I like can't wait to see Teddy when I get there. And honestly, when I go into your team, when I go into your salon space, um, I feel lit up and happy because of how positive it is, and how I don't even do hair at my own salon. I really don't. I just teach my team and lead them.
Ironic.
But coming out to teach, I'm teaching out there, so I do it. And I just realized, like, when I go, it's everybody there really does. It's not that it's always perfect, because I've gotten to know Gail, and we sit after a long day of work and we'll talk, or we'll walk the dog, and we get to understand, like, we talk business, like you said, you talk numbers. We'll share a lot of details, because that's really how we grow. And
Yeah,
there's different ideas that I've done at my salon. You're like, we want to start that. Can you tell us how? And then I'm like,
absolutely.
you did it, but you made it better. One of the things is like the rewards and loyalty program that we use through Forest Salon software. And I was like, you guys don't do that yet? And the next thing I know, you did it. And then I got back a month later. I'm like, I already like what they're doing better than what I'm doing. So I went back and made mine better.
And
And
then
that's what you get when you
sharing.
connect.
You started sharing with me about Spark. You weren't a
Mhm.
sales pitch at all. Matter of fact, it took us a long time for me to go, maybe I should look at this business called Spark. We love our KPIs that we get every month, because it's back to my communication. It allows me to send them their all their KPIs, all their numbers, all the things that I want at the beginning of the month. And so when I sit down with them every month, I get to go over. So, what do you think about your report card? Retail's a little low. Yeah, I see that too.
Mhm.
What do you think we should do? It's been like, I even asked them this time during their one-on-ones this month. Do you like this, or should we kind of take a pause on the Spark KPIs? They're like, no, no, no. I go, oh, okay. Just want to make sure. But if you can, you should show an example of one during this recording, because I've shared it with a lot of salon owners. They're going, this just is complete. So I had to put a plug in, a shameless
Well,
plug,
that's
sorry.
you cute. You can shameless plug all you want, but I think that helps the connection point. That helps the communication. It gives visibility. You've
Absolutely.
got your leaderboard hanging up in your office, so when people sit down, they see where they're at, where their retail's at, what everybody else's retail at, and where they're ranking. And it's not some kind of way of
Yeah.
calling out or shame. It's just I want to climb up, or how is she always there? And then you start watching what is that person doing, and
Hmm.
I think that that's just more about like the community piece and the building piece. And, we were talking about numbers and talking to people about numbers. And you mentioned the Salon Sisters. And I think we would be missing out if we didn't let you tell us a little bit about your amazing Salon Sisters. And like you said, you become, is it infamous or notorious? Which one are you? But everybody
I think it's a
knows
little
the
more
Salon
notorious.
Sisters.
Yeah.
Everybody knows
I
the
do.
Salon Sisters.
We're actually tattooed. We are we're sisters forever. We all share a shamrock that we're all big forest users, fan girls, and the relationship I have with Bonnie from Avalon, Maggie from Maggie Salon, Rowena from Studio Wish is something that literally we text every day. They live in every other part of the country, from Chicago, Illinois to Ohio to Florida, but we still connect. And I want to do a shout out also for Jackie because she's amazing over at Maggie Salon. But um, I don't know if I could get by without that lifeline.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've established here locally with my friends Sherry and Allie, two other salon owners, they're starting to get how valuable it is. We have dinner out next Monday because we just need to get together. And sometimes we want to just share something that's great. Sometimes we even share that I sent you an assistant that I think is a better fit for you.
Yeah.
And if I can leave anything, I really believe that strength right now is all of us connecting and disconnecting a little. Not that we should disconnect totally from, all AI and technology and stuff, but we need to add to it.
Yeah.
So,
Making it help you reach out more too. When you talk about those local community connections, and you've shared with me about them and their teams and what they've learned and what they're sharing with you and their challenges. And it's nice sometimes to have people in your neck of the woods in your part of the country, because you can say, are you noticing this going on right now? Yes, the same. Or,
they're
I
like,
think
"Whoa,
I think
thank
a lot
God,
of
I thought it was
people,
me."
yeah, exactly. And especially with my privilege and vantage point of working for Spark and having, working for Spark, having Spark, whatever you want to call it, doing Spark.
I
um,
think you are a spark.
yeah, for sparking the world, I've been able to work with over 50 salon owners, and working on multiple projects for people from anywhere across the country and Canada, and starting to grow in other places. And it's quite amazing. And every bit of their information is proprietary unless they say share this and you can tell other people about it. Everybody's got their privacy, so we get into their Spark assistants getting into their books, into their back end, and then when they're calling us and sharing with us, these are my challenges, this is what I want help working on, or streamlining, I need a process around this thing. It's actually quite incredible to find out as a salon owner, like it isn't just me. Or across the
Mhm.
country, commission salons, employee-based salons are struggling with this same thing. And it doesn't
Yeah.
make me happy, like, oh, good, you're all struggling, as much as, so we
No,
need
we're
to
not
shift
alone.
something together and we're not alone.
Right.
And what are you doing to
Yes.
fix that? And how are you building your bench, Gail? And
Yeah.
me and Gail have talked about going into the beauty schools. And I've got an appointment next week to go visit our local beauty school, Penrose Academy,
Yay.
which is a beautiful school in Scottsdale. And I was like, Gail, tell me your thing you do again. Give me your kind of outline. And she's like, anything you need. And I know when you and I talk, I learned so much. And, like I said, you started using your loyalty rewards with Forest. And then I came back and I really liked how you had it displayed kind of more like in the front. So I said, oh, we need to go back and we need to do that now. And
Right.
then you've mentioned there's a couple things you've loved. We're talking about Forest now. You've got the reviews and also the ads that you're doing. And that's
Oh,
really, you
I'd
were one of the
love to
first people
share
to do
that.
it. Tell us
It,
what you're doing. Tell us what you're doing with that and how it's working for you.
well, one of the things, like you said, everything changes and evolves. And even though I've been doing this for a long time, I've been doing it a long time. So I had to really embrace technology. I think that we're foolish if we don't take advantage of everything that's out there right now. And as you and I both are, we're kind of show hosts where we're constantly at every education from Intercoiffure, which I love. to data driven to serious business to the Forest Conference in Dublin. But through those experiences, I've learned what I don't know, and to really just jump in and embrace technology. Remember a couple of years ago when they mentioned we're going to all be using Chat GBT, and I heard the room go. "Ooh." And now I can't live without Chat GBT. I can't live without Forest. I couldn't live without Vish. I couldn't live without Maya. TrueLark, we have the AI answering service. And I think more and more we need to embrace that things are evolving and not be afraid of it and use it. I don't think Brittany and I write anything without talking with Chad first. Like, check this. Does this sound intelligent? I'm even negotiating my lease through ChatGPT. But one of the things I really want to do a shout out is that Forest has this system that is pretty much their Forest ads. And you get to take for 2 weeks, take one of your Instagram, maybe 10-second reels, add it to their Forest ads. And I was just asking Brittany yesterday, how's our Forest ad? We pretty much keep it running all the time. And in the last 10 days, we've spent $69. We've got 330 bookings. They say we've had $30,000 in revenue book from that. So again, it's embracing technology and taking it to that next level. And not only is it attracting clients, that's what we all want, but it's attracting that young talent that sees us on Instagram all the time and they think, well, they must be pretty cool.
Yep.
Because I keep seeing this repeated ad. So I think I'm circling back a lot by saying that relationships with all of our vendors are as important as they are with each other. We're
Yeah.
very lucky to have that these days. And Spark.
Thank you for letting us be one of the
Another
team
plug.
on your
Yeah.
other bench. But the truth is, you make time for these vendors and these people. I know, and I've seen you do this many times. Like, oh, I've got a call with World Class right now, or I've got to get on a call with my Forest person, or I've got to do. You make time to stay updated. You run a successful business. You went from buying an $11,000 salon to doing, a $3.5 million business, which is massive. And it's not quite Moonlight Beach, but it is a very short walk to it. And I mean, you know what? It was a couple, one or two freeway exits away from where you live, which is really, really cool that you
Yeah.
set out to do that and you got it. But like, you spend time talking to the people that you use. Most people, they'll sign up for something, they'll hire a salon software or hire a doohickey that goes with their salon. They think it's great, and they kind of let it just sort of pitter out. They don't
Yeah.
necessarily nurture it and guide it, but you make time to talk to your vendors, to talk to people. And something you're really, really good at is asking for, what can you guys do for me? What kind of collaboration can we make? How can I grow my team with this? Because every single company that is in the business to work with a salon has a budget to grow a salon's business. And not every salon is getting an even piece of the pie. As maybe a salon software company, I might have a set budget to invest in growing teams or growing my book of business and giving back. But if I have 10 clients using my services, I'm not giving all 10 of them an equal amount. I'm giving it to the kind of people who show up for their phone calls, who say, come into my space. Can you guys do a workshop? Tell me what's
Yeah.
new. You do that with your people that you hire. That support your salon, and they love to give back to you. So you have this way. I remember you telling me, like, always ask, doesn't hurt to ask. You'd rather get told
No
no.
unless you ask. That's
Yep, it's a no
my
unless you
story.
ask. Yep. And so I've tried that a couple times, like, well, what kind of, I never rat you out, by the way, because we wouldn't do that to each other. But I'll be like, hey, I'm just curious. What could you guys do for my team with education this year? We're really looking to recruit. Is there anything you could do to beef up our efforts? And do you know, I will not name brands because I don't want anybody to go like, Heather said you do this for her. But some brands I work with that I love and appreciate, but I want to keep private because what they did for me might just be what they did for me. But one of them says, we're going to put together a swag bag for each of your new hires. Because I asked and I had that meeting, I said, these are my goals. I have a beautiful $250 to $300 welcome kit that vendor provides to each new hire. Oops, but I'm not telling you which vendor it is. So
No.
you know what I mean though? And like, you taught me that. And now every new hire I get, gets a welcome kit.
Well,
And
the more
I think that
successful
is
we are,
cool.
our vendors are successful. So
Yeah.
they love when we do pay attention, and they love to help us grow. I mean, but sometimes you just have to ask.
That's right. Well, you taught me that, so I'm appreciative. One of our beautiful walks we took together. Now I want you to tell me what I mean, you've been in this for over 40 years in this industry. What is the shift or the wave that's coming in because you've seen a couple waves come to shore. What are you most excited about that you see coming up?
I really see technology and run towards it and the AI. Am I great at it? No, but I have a great directors team with Brittany and Rochelle that are young and smart and figured out. But I get excited every day going in, and we just started a new software, another shameless plug with Glamatic, and
Mhm.
everything that we're doing to upgrade our old website is just so exciting. Our video is being launched, and I really think that we have to stay in contact with all the availability out there. That there's no such thing as making all your appointments over the phone anymore. There's no such thing as we use a technology, for instance, to answer the phone so that our front desk people can connect
Yep.
and be present. And so I say keep running with the people that are running ahead of us, because every
Yep.
time something new happens, it's like I feel I've got that cutting edge, pun intended, over the competition in the area, because they're not attending the seminars in intercoiffures and stuff like we are. They're like making stuff up still, where we're like, oh, I'll just push a button and we'll have
Yep.
that information. So
Because
I
you're
say
a show
technology.
ho. You're a
I'm a
show
show ho.
ho, and you hear the technologies and brands doing the workshops or talking on stage at these events. And sometimes the events are amazing, if nothing else, just to connect. Sometimes an event is more
Exactly.
fluff and fun. And sometimes an event is like, I need three more notebooks to take more notes on what they're talking about. And
Exactly.
getting yourself in a position where you've done that, you've prioritized connection. One of our notebook handouts from one of our recent shows that was from Data Driven, which was incredible.
Hmm.
Also, you get data driven is going to be in your backyard.
I
So
know. Should we do
that's
a
coming
plug
up
about
so soon.
that?
Well, of course, we're
Data
Gail's throwing a party
driven.
on a yacht. Just kidding.
We
We're
are.
going to be Gail's
No,
having a
no,
yacht
we're
party. I'm
not
going.
kidding. So, yes, Data Driven next May 2027 will be in San Diego. It's going to be phenomenal. Matter of fact, we're going down to check out the hotel. I kind of crashed it with Stacy because it's my hometown,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the whole idea of maybe having the cocktail welcome party sponsored by some of our vendors floating on the San Diego Bay underneath the Coronado Bridge. Who wouldn't want to attend?
yeah.
So, but you said it. Sometimes it's not the person on stage, it's the people in the room during the
Yep.
breakouts.
Yep.
Again, that's how I met my salon sisters at a salon today, top 200. And being able to connect on those breaks is what's phenomenal. And I think that's what's really cool about serious business and data driven. They give us that time to get to know each other and to borrow ideas.
Absolutely.
So
And I'm so
yeah,
lucky because I know I really got to meet you for the first time at Data Driven in Scottsdale 2 years ago and got
yeah,
to meet Brittany. I think I met a couple girls on your team and I was like, okay, this is cool. I like Gail. I like her even more after we had our phone, our phone interview for
our
each
phone
other.
date.
Yeah, our phone date. We met online. Yeah, that's when I talk about
No
Gail, I'm like,
swiping, just
yeah, yeah. I know I sound like I'm in love with Gail, and it's because I am. So no, but I'm the biggest fan because of all the things that you bring to others into the industry. But I remember meeting you in Scottsdale, and just so many different beautiful connections that happen there. And it might not even have been a class, which those were cool too. But then hearing somebody else what they did that one thing, you're like, I'm talking. If you get one of those from three people, you're three times ahead that you were before you went and invested in connecting, getting to know. And you, the listener, no matter what it is you're doing or what part you play in our industry, you've got something to give back and connect with too. And we
Mm.
only get that through being able to communicate and showing up for each other, which you're doing such a good job at. And I loved that you brought me under your wing and I got to meet the salon sisters. I love like a little opportunity to tag along and just be a fly on the wall in here. I mean, listen, these ladies are similar minded. They've been in the industry for similar amounts of times. Like you said, they've got salons that stand the test of time, and Jackie, who's taken over for her mom Maggie, are working side by side, and just seeing what's happening in that going. There's so much richness to learn from that
Yeah.
power of connection. And I'm so grateful that you've been willing to share that with our listeners, and so generously with me personally. It's
Yeah.
honestly one of the biggest blessings of the last year of my life, is a chance to become your friend.
Right. Well, I look forward to when you get to come out here and hang out at Hotel California. I just found out that I just booked September. Our friend Katie Whitlich is coming out, and she's going to be speaking at my friend Sherry Bell's at Belle Serene Salon. Sherry, one of my salon buddies that we meet up, and we're all getting together to do communication. Sherry's going to do a class at her salon about leadership and all of the things that have made her successful. But she's asking salon owners to come and share, which it's
I love it.
I think it's what we really need now. No more of this,
Yeah.
just watch on a screen and see from afar. Get connected. So, well,
Yeah.
it'll be fun.
I'm excited. I mean, I like crashing any parties I can. So I don't know if I have any September dates yet, but I might need to come do some hair in September. You know what I mean? Anyway, it'll be
Yes.
so fun. I know that, I know that you've got people that you're actually meeting with to interview today to see about joining your team, which is so exciting. So I hate to let you go, but I would love to know if there's anything that you want to share with our listeners as a parting thought in how you would encourage them, like anybody listening, something that you would have them take from this and go start doing tomorrow.
Never quit learning. you know and when I go in and I interview the assistant today, it's like we're in such a great industry where there's no ceiling. You might be the busiest person, completely booked behind the chair. Now it's time for you to go educate, give back, like Drew Bree says, master your craft and then go give it away. I say never quit learning, and if you're still new, find a mentor. There's so many people out there that have experience or can share what not to do. And
Yeah.
so I say, I think this all keeps circling back, and we didn't really plan it like this, but mine is communicate, stay connected, um, find your people, and you'll always have that opportunity to keep learning.
Well,
That would
thank
be
you.
my welcome.
Thank you again for being one of the people that I get to learn with, and for always being so generous in your communication with me and now with our listeners. I hope everybody listening in has enjoyed getting to know Gail a little bit, and look her up at Headlines The Salon and see what they're doing. You are a legend, 40 plus years in this industry. And if you've been able to stay adaptable and flexible and keep learning, I think it's inspired many others to do the same. So thank you so
Thank
much
you
for your
so
time, Gail.
much. This was fun.